here's how I got my job. I went in and said, the way to build a sales team has nothing to do with anything else but culture. You put the right incentives in place, you put the right people there, you create a culture of learning, you create, make sure everyone's having fun, and everything else solves itself.
Yep.
Here I am a year later after a lot of problems, but we're working on them.
But I do agree with that.
You told me a very similar thing, and somehow you got a culture at Intuitive that everyone was self-learners. You didn't need to test them, you didn't need to grade them. How? What did you do? How do you think about building a culture?
Well, part of it is the people you hire, right? So, I mean, you have to, especially at a startup. So, Intuitive is a pretty mission-based, company. So, especially at a mission-based startup, I hired people who were like missionaries, right? They were mission-based people, right? They just, they were in it for the vision and the mission of the company, and solving everybody's advocacy problem more than, not that they aren't in it for themselves and their own paychecks and their own career growth, but they also really were really super tied to the mission. So that was one. It was just kind of people you hire. I also like to hire.
That's the first 5 people, first 15.
Yeah, at least 5, maybe 10. But after that, it becomes a little harder. But I was going to say something. I totally forgot. So the missionary thing. The other, here was what I was going to say. I also hired. I like to hire what I call like 80%ers or 70%ers. It's like people who still have something to prove. Like they actually can't do the job in their sleep. Like they're a little underqualified, right? Like on that line of like slightly underqualified, because they just tend to work harder, right? And they tend to have something to prove. And so they tend to be more self-motivated to learn and that kind of thing. And so that's another thing about the hiring. And then in terms of the culture, what a lot of it is like humans are like so habit forming, right? So a lot of it is just like putting the habits in place. And like as your job as a sales leader is to put those habits in place, right? If learning is one of the habits you want to put in place, then put it in place. And once it becomes a habit, then you don't need the carrots and sticks. So I'm not saying that like I had built such an amazing team that they didn't like to be motivated by carrots or sticks, because they did. But like the learning part became such a habit that you could, the early days, you need the carrots and sticks, but over time it just becomes like riding a bike, right? So put in those things that are like rituals, right? That like every Friday we do this, and like stick with it, even though sometimes it can get boring, and you can change it up a little bit. So we would do sync-ups every day. The end of every day, 15 minutes a day, 5 o'clock, everyone on a sync-up. And we would just go around the room, and I changed the format of them a couple of times. But the early days, it was like, tell me about like, something great that happened today and something shitty that happened today. And they would, go around the room and kind of tell a story. Sometimes it was, metrics driven, but it was every day, 15 minutes a day, like all the time, except for Fridays. I gave them Fridays off. I'm a nice boss. But like other than that, it was those kind of rituals I think would make a big difference in culture.